Coach Lance here with CFSJ's Inside the Box. Whether you have tight times or tight spaces, we've got you covered. What you're about to follow along with is a 1-hour class shrunk into a 10-minute video. How do we do it? We create pause points, we write out equipment lists, and we give you substitution options to where there is zero thought on your part. So whether you have a hotel room, a hotel gym, or you're lucky enough to be outside, we're going to give you that great CFSJ feel when you're not at CFSJ. So let's take a look at the equipment list. Most of the times fairly minimal, and a lot of times you can substitute these things for things you have around your house, whether it be a water bottle or a filled up backpack. So let's go ahead and grab your phone, let's check out this equipment list, and let's get going. Every class, we're going to start off with 2 minutes of cardio. Now, if you're lucky enough to have a bike or a rower or a treadmill or the outside, let's go ahead and do 2 minutes of rowing or jogging or biking. If you don't have that, then let's start off with some jumping jacks, some step back burpees, some double unders, or some other method of your choice that you can do in the tight space that you're in. If you need a suggestion, let's go ahead and do step back burpees. The thing I love most about step back burpees is they hit everything at once. So instead of making this a dynamic, we're going to make this a very slow, grindy kind of movement, stepping back, engaging that plank on the way forward, driving those hips open, getting that nice hinge and that hamstring stretch, and working the plank and the push-up. By the time you've done about 15 of these, everything is ready. Now again, it's your choice, so let's go ahead and start those 2 minutes now. Today's dynamic warm-up is going to work the core and the hips, getting us ready for those movements later in the strength and the workout. We're going to start off with 10 Samson stretches. Let's go ahead and drive that knee down, push that hip forward and lift that chest up. Pushing the hands up to the sky, getting a big shoulder stretch, 10 total. Next, we're going to work bootstraps. Your first squat probably will not be your deepest. Go ahead and come down, pry those elbows into the knees, grabbing the toes, using leverage to lengthen those hamstrings out, and as you finish the bootstrap, you're pulling yourself down, making each squat a little deeper, each chest movement a little prouder. Next, we're going to move into the iron cross. Starting on your back, you're going to bring a straight leg up, strengthening and lengthening that hamstring at the same time, opening up the hip by reaching laterally over to the opposite hand. Alternating reps each leg, 10 total, and then turning over face down for the twisted cross. Bringing that right hand into the right armpit, pushing force into that left shoulder, being gentle but opening that chest up big, 10 total. Today's activation is going to require the use of a kettlebell. We're going to start off with 10 alternating prone swimmers. The idea of this is to get the scapula retracted, get the shoulders open and active, under load while keeping the core stable. You'll notice Coach Devin not lifting the chest as you would in a traditional Superman, starting with the right hand in front of the head, the left arm behind the back, and slowly letting those hands hover just inches above the ground, replacing. We're going to go 10 total. Next, a half kneeling press. So with the right knee forward, we're going to brace the core, making sure that we don't get any twist or sag, and we're going to go 5 press each arm, switching legs as we switch arms. And last, we've got 10 half kneeling windmills. This looks very similar to the transition point in a Turkish get-up. Keep the core locked and reach the hand down to the side, pushing the kettlebell or the dumbbell up to the sky, making a straight line between the wrist, the shoulder, the chest, and the opposite wrist with the kettlebell. Keep the eye on the bell and you'll maintain good chest position. 10 total. As always, we're going to do this 2 times through. Go ahead and take your time on it. The intention is to get these reps good, not just to get them done. So if you need a little more time, or if you need to break up the sets so that your reps are still quality, please do so. Now, you can always rewind and follow along with Devin or pause right here before we go into the next section. Today's strength is a full body activation. Probably one of my single favorite movements, if there ever was one. We're working on the Turkish get-up. There are so many movements that are involved in a Turkish get-up. It's very easy to get a full body workout, but it's also very easy to get it wrong. We're going to follow along with Coach Devin as he demonstrates exactly what to do, but what I want you to think about is this is tightness and leverage. Now, if you notice Coach Devin on his back, he's got his right arm up, his right knee up. It's always going to be that same arm-knee combination. Left hand is out. Now he's going to take that right heel and he's going to use leverage to twist his body and push himself over to his left elbow, pushing the kettlebell up to the sky. The good point of performance is the kettlebell is always going straight up and your eyes are always on the bottom of the bell. This is going to keep an ideal chest position during this entire movement. From here, he's going to sweep that hand back and he's going to lift the hips up. Here's where it gets a little bit tricky. He's going to shoot his left leg through, and how he's going to do it is by tilting the foot just sideways, scraping the outside of the foot until the knee gets back under his hips. A common failure is either not lifting the hips high enough or shooting the knee too far back when you actually get it through your hips. So take the time on this one and really practice. From here, you'll be left in a lunge. You're going to reposition the feet, lift the chest, hand stays directly overhead, shoulder blades are going to retract, and we're going to step through that lunge. Now the suggestion is do this a couple of times without weight. There is a huge benefit that can happen both cardiovascularly and strength-wise just going through the movement. When you get the movement good, then you've earned the right to add weight. We're going to go 2 to 3 each side every 4 minutes. Now 4 minutes to get 6 Turkish get-ups done is a lot of time. That means that we're expecting a lot of time devoted to this movement. I'm going to go ahead and replay Coach Devin do this again because I think it's that important. Let's go ahead and watch him breaking down those points, thinking about where you might stick in this movement. Now, getting ready, let's go ahead and do a set without any weight. So even though that there are 4 rounds of this, I'm going to go ahead and give you a 5th round on your own. Do it without weight, see how that feels, and then see if you can challenge yourself with some weight. One other thing that you might be able to do is just hold any object in your hand, just something that's going to give you that little bit of challenge of having to stabilize the shoulder during this movement. It is tough, and it's probably even tougher to learn via video. So give yourself time with it. This will probably take the majority of the class. All right, now that you have your mindset set, you've got your intention set, I'm going to actually say don't set a playlist, have full concentration on this. Let's go ahead and set a timer for 4 minutes. But again, if that feels too rushed, go ahead and just do 4 rounds and take your time, beginning now. Let's talk about the workout for today. Today's Metcon Silver Bullet is a 5-rounder interval style. What that means is that there is going to be a built-in rest so that you can perform each rep as close to max as possible. You're going to get tired, you're going to get time to rest. We're going to try to hit it as hard at the beginning of each and every single one of these 5 reps. Today's movements are suitcase deadlifts, side plank hip lifts, and double unders. If you don't have double unders, you can either do jumping jacks or single unders, or preferably double attempts, because no one's ever gotten a double under by doing singles. All right, here's what we're going to do. We've got 10 suitcase deadlifts. You're going to take the heaviest implement that you could find. The purpose is to brace the core, and the intention is so that the hips don't shift. You're going to go ahead and give me 5 on each arm. Moving directly into 18 side plank hip lifts. With this movement, you're going to start off in a side plank, drop the hip, don't relax, tap the hip 9 times each side. Directly after, 75 double unders. Now, if you're not doing double unders and you're doing double under attempts, go ahead and give me 25. It's going to take you just about the same amount of time, and you're going to get the same amount of cardiovascular taxation. Directly after, you're going to go ahead and give me a minute of rest. During this time, let the arms shake, let the body oscillate, and take deep breaths in and out through the nose, influencing the cardiovascular system to return as close to normal as it can in those 60 seconds. Now, let's go ahead and watch Coach Devin demonstrate the suitcase deadlift. Notice the hinge. See how his shoulders aren't turning, even though his heaviest side should be pulling his lightest side out of place. Next, we're going to be working on the side plank hip lifts. Let's go ahead and watch Coach Devin. Again, from the side plank position, slow and controlled, dropping the hips without relaxing at the bottom of these. Now again, the intention is to hit these as hard as possible. You have the fastest movement at the end, so let's go ahead and try to maintain some sort of consistency between rounds. Today's workout requires a little bit more on the timing side. You're going to have an ongoing clock, but you're going to have to pay attention and keep yourself honest on those 1-minute rests. It's very tempting to take a little bit more, but that then ends up slowing down the overall pace. Your score is going to be your entire time, including those 1-minute rest intervals. Now, let's go ahead and set our playlist, get our bells in order, set our timer, and now that we're ready, in 3, 2, 1, begin.